All right, good evening. Welcome to Environmental Coffee House. Hello, everybody. Oh, I've got to shut down the sound. Okay, we're good. I'm tired. So, welcome to the show. Let me get on the chat and say hi to everybody because it's just good to be here. I'm not really doing any kind of big deal. I've just got a bunch of things pulled up and I think it'll be kind of fun. I just could not do last week in collapse because I've had my own collapse. I couldn't even do my hair. I was outside trying to clean up some of the mess out there. Um, but it is no Mow May, right? We're gonna talk about no Mow May. We're gonna talk about the Anthropocene. We're gonna talk about whatever the hell comes up to my mind, right? All right. So, hello, Kristen. Hello, Billy Joe. Hello, Tommyist and Steven and Spice and Penguin and Latino. Kim, thank you for moderating. Looney, thank you for moderating. It's really great to be here. So, let's start. And don't forget, click all that like stuff. So that picture behind me is on the way home from New York, where I went. Now, I've been gone how many weekends? Well, I was in Erie County for the weekend of my birthday. Then I came back, and the next weekend I was in Toronto with my daughter. And then I had all this crap going on here, and then I went away for 4 days to New York. So it has been quite busy. Uh, there's New York City, and I took that from a restaurant in Dobbs Ferry. Not bad for just a cell phone camera, right? That's not too bad. Not too bad. So that's where I was. And my daughter drove back and forth, and the whole entire time, my freaking back hurt because just to get out of here was a lot of effort. I don't leave. I'm really a homebody. I'm pretty much a homebody. And plus, it's the time of the year where there's so much going on with planting and seeds and all this, and, live by the seasons, right? So if you are a gardener, you know what I'm talking about, right? You do. So, hey, okay, let's see. Maybe I'll move these over here. How you doing? There's our friend, the wolf. All right. So let me show you something else. And then I have a video for you guys as long as you're all joining. Come join me. I have a video. I found, I gave a preview to the members. And I made this video. I put all the graphics to this video today. And, well, this morning before I went out and did yard work. And I found this guy, and he sings a song, which is pretty damn good. And it's the Anthropocene. And I think about the Anthropocene a lot, especially with everything we see, right? The Anthropocene and how these geologists are so stubborn. We've already talked about this. They will not name the new epoch, the Anthropocene, formally. They want to keep us in the Holocene when we know that humanity has been has had its touch on the planet. It is no longer that we are part of the earth systems. We are creating earth systems. So as you are all joining, I see there's people joining. I'm going to put on the movie, the music. It's really, really nice. And then I'm going to introduce you to the guy. I don't have him here with me, but I will be telling you about him. And I think you'll enjoy him. So hang on and I'll set this up. And I'm really happy to see you all. Like I said, I'm just so tired, but it's good to be here and to be able to be a little creative without having to go over the last week and collapse. Like I said, I couldn't do it. It's an emotional show and it's a lot of work, a lot of research. So here we go.
everything is broken, we arrive upon the scene of the Anthropocene. As soon as our eyes open, how do we come to terms with the terms of this engagement, where destructive legacies and extractive industries unite in full derangement? Do we call upon our gods? Do you think they might be listening? Or do we call upon each other to collaborate in witnessing that there's life in you and I, in the water, earth, and sky, and to stop taking without giving, to make this a place that we all live in, balanced, fair, and clean, in a dream, in a dream of the Anthropocene. Step up to the challenge of all species, with the vision of heart and mind in everything we could find, the duels of dualities and pieces. And how do we connect if everything keeps breaking under Hagen Hainer's manner, self-accolading banners, a worldly paradise forsaken? Do we call upon our gods? Do you think they might be listening? Or do we call upon each other to collaborate in witnessing that there's life in you and I, in the water, earth, and sky? Stop taking without giving, to make this place that we all live in, balanced, fair, and clean, in a dream of you and I, and the water, earth, and sky. Stop taking without giving, to make this place that we all live in, balanced, fair, and clean, in a dream, in a Anthropocene. In a dream, in a dream of the Anthropocene. How do we connect when everything is broken, when we arrive upon the scene of the Anthropocene, as soon as our eyes open?
All right. Well, I hope you liked that. I really did. And I'm going to read about him. Let me just put this up. All right. You don't have to see it. Dream of the Anthropocene. It's the first track on the album, Songs in the Key of Collaboration. Prompted by a serious water crisis in Cape Town, I set out to explore songwriting as a response to anthropogenic environmental impact, broadly speaking. The aim was to both explore how songwriting might shed light on a lived experience and to make songwriting accessible to others by collaboratively sharing stories in this way. Years later, I now look back on a plethora of human and non human encounters in a project which earned me a PhD from Aarhus University in 2023, uh, and which was fundamentally inspired by the concept of the Anthropocene, a term suggesting that humankind has become a force welding global geological impact. Dream of the Anthropocene was written in one sitting, but embodied years of readings, ideas, and thinking about the climate and biodiversity crises, colonialism, capitalism, and structural violence, the kind of violence that Rob Nixon has termed slow violence, because it happens at a pace where we don't notice it, and instead it becomes a backdrop, something naturalized, and therefore easily perpetuated. I sing about a dream of a different future Anthropocene than one that spells progressively worse environmental conditions for our shared planetary wonder. The song asks a series of questions that have no easy answers, such as how do we connect when everything's broken? And how do we step up to this challenge of all species? The tune is partly made up of these kinds of unanswerable questions, and I chose to meet them with a suggestion to recognize life, the life in you and I, in the water, in the earth, in the sky, to stop taking without giving, in turn, making the world that we all must live in more balanced, fairer, and cleaner. This all in a dream, a vision of a future Anthropocene. And his name is uh, there's Dennis. Oh, it's Martin. Martin Hoybye. Hoybye. And I'll put a link up to them. But I just thought, how friggin' nice and cool that was. And somebody had asked the question, and I'm going to find it. Any ideas on how to stay positive? Knowing what we know, it's starting to weigh on me. Well, that's why we're doing part of the show as No Mow May. We'll talk about things we can do when it's weighing on you. And even if it's little bits of things, around where you live. And if you live in a city, grow a pot of something on your deck, save up. You can get things used. You can do, I find for me, growing food is therapeutic. And it is as hard as it's getting over the years with weather whiplash and the changes around here, even here where I am, it's still rewarding because you're watching something, you're watching this grow and you're nurturing it. So there's the positive, and there are positives, but you just have to make them happen. You have to make, yeah, there you go. Grow some pot. I used to. I didn't this year because I don't need to, and it's a lot of work, and I'm like really behind. But anyway, so um, that was I just wanted to answer that because I thought it was important to answer you. And Gary, you're saying, Sandy, also vulnerability hangover is a real term. Brene Brown et al. That applies to everyone who puts themselves out there, calling folks into tribes of truth and speaking truth to power, just like you do, Gary, just like Karen does in her collapse work, and Carolyn Baker and Jennifer and everybody on our channel. All of us. Yes, we do. We need self care, and self care for me is trying very hard not to push myself too much, uh, and getting guilty about the fact that my whole place is a mess, But that's where No Mo May comes in, right? And maybe we can do a little talking about No Mo May. I we could talk about the Anthropocene, which is just, uh, you know, and we can talk about tornadoes, which I want to go over because I do want to talk about the tornadoes. I'm actually really interested in them in the United States right now. But the first thing I think I'm going to do is show you a video on Mow May, and we can talk about these things and why they're good and why it makes you feel good. Now, a lot of people already say that they can't do this where they live, but it's something as tiny weeny as it is. It's something you can go to a board meeting, you can go to a town meeting, you can go to a homeowners association meeting, and you can bring the reasons why you don't want to mow your lawn in May. And you don't have to leave your place looking like mine, which is looking like it's abandoned. But I mean, you can just let things grow so that you can nurture. So let me play this video for you guys, and then we'll have some chit chats on this. And then I just wanted to talk about those tornadoes because it's been absolutely freaking wild. I mean, just wild. All right, hang on.
I'm Doug Richmond.
And I will get him up to talk about this. I had a few problems with technology tonight.
I'm Doug Richmond. I'm a professor of entomology at Purdue University. Mow May is a campaign that was started in the United Kingdom several years ago with the idea of not mowing for the entire month of May, and as a result, providing the opportunity for more flowering plants in that landscape to bloom. The idea of Mow May is to protect pollinators by providing an opportunity for flowering plants in the landscape to bloom, and particularly in the lawn setting where things like dandelion and white clover can be mowed off through regular maintenance activities. For folks that are interested in providing more habitat for bees to forage in the spring, one of the things that really comes to mind is just raising your cutting height or reducing your cutting frequency. That will give those plants, those flowering plants in the landscape, an opportunity to bloom. Aside from that, you can just devote more space in your lawn to the cultivation of flowering plants, perennials, especially native plants, and flowering trees. They're a really good source of nectar and pollen for early season pollinators. For folks that have a well-maintained turf lawn that is relatively weed-free, Mow May doesn't have the same benefits as it would otherwise in a situation where you may have some other flowering plants in the lawn, particularly dandelion, clover, and some of those early season perennial plants. As a matter of fact, for a turfgrass lawn, not mowing for an entire month is probably not the best idea in terms of a plant health practice. It tends to make the plants more vulnerable to other problems, in particular pathogens.
So that's pretty cool. He was giving you a little bit about that and how it's not always, about totally not mowing. Like my place, I really gave up most of it except for paths. And that's because of ticks, which are a problem, and it's an exacerbating problem because of our climate changing. The ticks are getting worse. And in fact, in the backyard, and I didn't take a picture of it, I've got a thing of water that I put out there for deer, and in it are all those green bugs with the green back on them. I think they're June bugs. They've all gone swimming. But, I've had, which I don't have a lot of pictures tonight, but the little purple flowers are coming up all over. The dandelions, the yellow dandelions, they're already turning into where you pick them and you blow them away, And it's just the little things to watch is just so amazing. And, that takes me to another video I'm going to show you of when I was coming home. It's a juxtaposition to what we're doing in mowing, right? And when we were driving home. I'm going to show you this. You just watch this. It used to be the Tappan Zee Bridge, and now it's the Mario Cuomo Bridge. This is the antithesis of anything green. So when you go over like that, that's the bridge that stretches from Westchester County, New York, about what 35, 40 miles north of New York City, over to Rockland County, which is the other side of the Hudson. And when you look at that and you see all the concrete, it just never feels like anything's ever going to change. They rebuilt that bridge not that long ago and made it bigger, more lanes, more growth, more people moving over that side because they can't afford to live on the other side of the Hudson River. They're priced out. I mean, there are developments where I grew up and went to high school that are by the river, and maybe I think like 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom units, 1.2 million to 3.3 million dollars. It's crazy. It just feels like all of it is just whipping up and whipping up and whipping up. And like we say, collapse is insidious. It's slow, but all of this has to come to a crazy crescendo. When you go down to an urban area, whether you live in one or not, you still see all of this. There's not any property that's ever left to grow green. And urban sprawl is becoming even more pronounced, even more pronounced. It was just not shocking to me because I see it. It was just more, you know, more saying to myself, this is it. We are in the Anthropocene. We have forever changed the landscape, completely changed it. Nothing's going back. Nothing's going back. But I digress. And uh, before we go to Mow May, and since I showed you that bridge, and I showed you, I have something I want to read, and I'm going to. Oh, you can't hear me. Oh my God, I just realized it. It's okay. This whole time you've been talking, I've been reading, and you couldn't hear me. Oh, that's the kind of night it is. This is so funny. So let me start over. I see why she called me. Okay, let me start over. I'll cut it. I see it. I'm reading it over. It was really good. Did you guys get to read it at all? It's my fault. I told you I was very tired and I didn't click it. So, yeah. You read it? Oh. Well, I feel like an ass. It went to voicemail, Kim, because I'm too tired. Let me ask you if you want me to read it. It's so good. It's too small. Let me read it. Americans are, of course, the most thoroughly and passively indoctrinated people on earth. They know next to nothing as a rule about their own history or the histories of other nations or the histories of various social movements that have risen and fallen in the past, and they certainly know little or nothing of the complexities and contradictions comprised within words like socialism and capitalism. Chiefly, what they have been trained not to know or even suspect is that in many ways they enjoy far fewer freedoms and suffer under a more intrusive centralized state than do citizens of countries with more vigorous social democratic institutions. This is at once most comic and most tragic aspect of excitable alarm that talk of social democracy or democratic socialism can elicit on these shores. An enormous number of Americans have been persuaded to believe that they are freer in the abstract than, say, Germans or Danes precisely because they possess far fewer freedoms in the concrete. They are far more vulnerable to medical and financial crisis, far more likely to receive inadequate health coverage, far more prone to inseparable or irreparable insolvency, far more unprotected against predatory creditors, far more subject to income inequality, and so forth. My gosh. And while effectively paying more in tax. When one figures in federal, state, local, and sales taxes and then compounds it by all the expenditures in this country, as almost nowhere else, their taxes do not cover. One might think that a people who once rebelled against the mightiest empire on earth on the principle of no taxation without representation would not meekly accept taxation without adequate government services. But we accept what we have become used to, I suppose. Even so, one has to ask what state apparatus in the free world could be more powerful and tyrannical than the one that taxes its citizens while providing no substantial civic benefits in return, solely in order to enrich a paradically overinflated military industrial complex to ease the tax burden of the immensely wealthy. That's what I was reading. And that I am sorry that I did not read earlier. I am really sorry that I did not unmute myself. So you guys were having fun in the chat while I was sitting there absolutely cluelessly not watching. I don't know who wrote that, but it all kind of, when you look at this, it is. And see, it mutes and I don't want it. Okay, I'm fixing it. So watch, when I turn this on, it mutes itself. So when you see all that, you see all this, and you think about that's what we pay for, right? We pay for more industrialization, more roads, more concrete, more overshoot, basically. We've overshot the overshoot. Yeah, thanks. Oh, Gary, you made me feel better. That's fine. It gave us all time to contemplate. Yeah, well, I told you I couldn't do anything seriously big time tonight because I'm just so tired. Like I said, it's just weird how I was away and my back hurt the whole entire 4 days I was away. And today I came home. I went to sleep last night later than I wanted to, and I came home and I was okay today, to do things. And I had to, so that's all right. You got to walk the dog, Kristen. She's got to walk the dog. All right, so how long have I been? Half an hour. And I might even be able to cut that and I might even be able to make something out of it, actually. Just cut it, read it, and put it to music. There you go. Just like I found when I left, I had set up to put it was members only. It's all bullshit. I put that up. You should watch that video. Uh, why not? Okay. You really do enjoy laughing when you hear something's going to be built 2035. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We're at that point where you just look at New York City. It's just so much. I mean, it's a big city and there's many big cities all over the world, but they're proliferating, and then at the same time there's sea level rise, droughts, torrential rains, right? So let's move on. Hey there, Alan. Alan's with us. Okay, let's move on and take a look at, uh, well, why we might do no mo besides what. Okay, here we go. And I got a couple things to show you, but let's go to the no mo first before the tornadoes. All right, so this is what can make us happy, right? No mo, slow mo spring. And the video I used already covered a lot of this, but think about this. Lawns cover 40 million acres, or 2% of land in the US, making them the single largest irrigated crop we grow. All right, Kim, you got that question. I will bookmark your question. Like I said, I'm not doing anything perfect tonight. So think about it. Grass, and it does nothing. What does it do? You can roll around on it sometimes. They're mowed and raked and fertilized, weeded, chemically treated, watered, sucking up time, money, and other resources. Lawns provide little benefit to wildlife, and they are often harmful. Grass-only lawns lack floral resources and nesting sites for bees and are often treated with pesticides, which harm bees and other invertebrates. And yes, Kim, I'm going to answer your question. I have bees because I let everything grow. And I have also planted lots of flowers up on my deck, which I hope to be starting the Anthropocene gardener soon. I'm like I said, I have a lot of things pulling me in every direction. But yes, I do have bees. And I've been taking some little pictures of them. Yeah. So why mow less? Mowing less creates habitat, and it can increase the abundance and diversity of wildlife, including bees and other pollinators. So it's no Mow May. And I did it last year, but I've done it even this year. I've even left it even worse. But again, I'm going to just do my pathways, and I will be doing them. So they have all kinds of stuff in these sites that I brought up. Here's another one, why you shouldn't, and this is April 23rd. So it's actually a campaign, and you could get involved. You could literally get involved. They have all kinds of signs, and I mean, this is just a small tiny way. This is not going to solve our problems. We're in a predicament, but these are the kinds of things that make you feel good and actually do something where you live. And if you can make it proliferate, it started in the UK. So why can't we do it in more states? Number of people not mowing is increasing, with research finding that almost 3/4, 73% of people now believe leaving lawns unmown for a month or more helps butterflies, bees, and other wildlife. 84% of their respondents consider it important to look after the environment and support conservation efforts such as No Mow May. So it's very sweet. Why not? Why not do it? And then there's a whole bunch of benefits with the dandelions, which I just told you. And they have enough nectar sugar to meet an adult bumblebee's baseline energy needs. And then people who chose not to mow are rewarded with rare plants. Oh my gosh, I have them all over. Wild strawberry, wild garlic, adder's tongue fern, and meadow saxifrage. Now, the funny thing is, when I would go out to look up all these plants, I used to go out with this gigantic book. And because I'm a techno freak with all this shit, I have an app and I take a picture of it on my phone and it tells me what it is. And literally, I could go and look at this and tell you of the hundreds of plants I have saved in here. My plants: Moros honeysuckle, big leaf hydrangea, garlic mustard, cabbage, peas, beets. Well, those are some I'm growing, obviously. Marigolds I'm growing. There's greater celandine, ditch lilies, showy stonecrop, Japanese turnstronemia, dusty miller, dill. This from some of them from last year, but you get the drift. It's so cute. It's just a little app, and I don't have to drag the big book out there anymore, but it's fun, you know. So if we are going to take advantage of the Anthropocene, or if you want to call it the tech the techno optimist posine, because I say there's so many. Why not learn about all these different plants that are all over? And take, you know, you can take the little app to the park on your phone and just take pictures of what it is and learn all about the plants and what kind of things like it. Now, they were talking about 15 million gardens in Britain. Their lawns have the potential to become major sources of nectar. No Mow May matters massively because leaving lawns to just let it be in May allows a wonderful array. And see how this is exactly what I'm going to do. I did it last year with the just the rows, so I can walk, and also from my place where I irrigate my garden, I need to lay the hose there so I don't run over the hose like I did with the stupid tractor one year. And my Amish neighbor had to come and lift the whole tractor up, and we had to get it out of the place. So I have to have a path for the hose that goes from the crank well all the way to the irrigation in the front garden if I ever get there. Okay, so anyway, how do you get involved? Leave your lawnmower in the shed and then fight with your homeowners association. But they have a website. So they have a website that shows you that you can register and you can join the movement. And this is it's English, but it's really very cute. So this is about them. Their mission. They have 4 things, and it's to protect, restore, connect people with nature, work in partnerships, and collaborate and influence. And their mission is to secure a world rich in wild plants and fungi. Wild plants and fungi underpin the health of the environment, and they can help us to restore the climate, ecological, and societal challenges we face. Now, it leads to a world full of color, beauty, and life, while allowing plants and the animals which depend on them to thrive. So it's very sweet. And even it's not really hopium because it helps in little areas. And working to protect these habitats is a wonderful thing to do. It is a wonderful thing to do, and that is a great way to make you feel good about all this. And I've got to change that background so I don't have that happening again. But anyway, so there's something. There's something. So let's look at your comments and tell me how you feel about it. If any of you have lawns, can you do it? Hummingbird feeders are out, as well as grape jelly for the Orioles. See? So it's these little tiny things. You know, if I looked at I mean, I do it every week, last week in collapse. You look at the world in totality. You know what's going on in Gaza. I don't have to talk about it. Everybody else is. You know what's going on. I've talked about it. I mean, I'll do it again next week, but this week you take a break. We're looking at all the sweet little things. Now, the bylaws in your city don't allow for this. However, nothing gets changed unless you try it. And even if it's not you, you can spread the word. Bylaws were written by humans, and bylaws can change, right? I mean, I know that I'm spoiled. And I live in a place where nobody gives a shit, the most unregulated county in my state. I mean, nobody's going to come over here and tell me I have to mow my lawn. But if I lived in a place that I had enough, to do it, I might be a shit stir and I might bring all this information and I might say, listen, it's the least we can do, and appeal to the conservatives, because the conservatives were who, after all, right, they conservation, you make the case. You make a case. And that's that, as simple as it is. So Latino says, we need to act in a world as if we're part of an ecosystem rather than a resource farm for the elite. Absolutely. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We are going to flush the elite away. Bye. They're all going away. Goodbye to the elitists out there. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Um, Pollution is ubiquitous. Let me see. Did I get that up? Pollution is ubiquitous, and like pesticides, are more harmful to small creatures like children. Now, that's another thing I have a big issue with, is going to the freaking store. If I ever have to go down to, I don't like Home Depot, so if I have to go to a big box, there's Tractor Supply. There's all these different places, but there's also some smaller ones. But they're all still selling Roundup. So there's something else to get involved in. Trying to, fight the system. We can't even fight plastic, and we haven't been able to fight Roundup. But I mean, if you feel, so saddened by all the events, you just pick one little thing. We cannot overtake the world. That's hopium, but copium is no Mow May for me anyway. And sitting down outside with my organic tick spray and just sitting there, picking weeds, just doing it. Can't someone who live in cities with rules change their lawns to complete flower beds? I mean, you would have to keep it weeded, but it would be so much better, small and big beds. I think there's a lot people can do. Yep, I do. Okay. Hey, how are you? I have 2 illegal sheds, an illegal pergola, and a legal greenhouse, and about 200 gallons of illegal. Yeah, me too. Where is, what? I have to find, since my show is just, I'm not having to be perfect tonight. Where's the applause for that one? Yeah! Yeah, I hear you. These are the way we live. Okay, Dwayne says, Portland, Oregon has homeowners associations that allow people to convert their lawns to native plants. Most are rock gardens with wildflowers and stuff. I like that. That's fantastic. That's Portland. So it could be done somewhere else. It could be done anywhere. We live on the precipice with 400 million guns around when the food gets scarce. Yeah, but do you want to live your life every day thinking about that? I don't. I want to think about the bees on my property. I mean, we all have an overconsumption of doom problem sometimes. And when it's the season we're in and people are asking me how to cope with it because they feel sad, like Billy Joe said, why most people haven't heard me lately. I have had massive burnout after reading the bad news. Of course. And sometimes you need to take a break, because the bad news is never going to stop. And I'm going to bring you it every week. However, tonight, nope, too tired. Even with my faux pas with the stupid friggin' thing. I'm just I'm free associating tonight. Wild gardens are legal in Picton, Ontario, which is very nice. Hey, me too. The Tappan Zee Bridge, which is that bridge I showed you, it used to be. It looked a lot different. I grew up there. So I used to drive over that bridge 150 million times because I had a boyfriend that lived on the other side of it. Yeah, those were the days. Aw, I love you too. More people are doing a food forest in suburban yards. They are. And I will also say, with the growing of gardening channels on YouTube, there's so many. And I'm even starting my playlist, I hope, the Anthropocene Gardener. As you all know, it used to be the disabled, abled gardener. Well, I'm still disabled. And just like the predicament we're in, that isn't going to change either. So because I was so pissed off at the whole geologist Anthropocene thing, I changed the playlist to the Anthropocene Garden. Yeah. Nothing like a bunch of flowers, wild especially, to take me away, Calgon moment. Yep. And I got my wildflower garden going, right? Yes, and we do prefer to know the truth, even if it gets us down. But we have community, and then we have ways of alleviating some of that stress. The little tiny things I'm talking about, maybe it sounds even, you know what, even the most hardened of people, most hardened doomers, grow. Plants love growing. Yes. Yeah, wouldn't this be nice? Instead of the NRA, the National Rifle Association, we need an NPA, National Pollinators Association. Well, I'll tell you what, you can't eat the butt of a gun, but we need pollen. And I think a lot of those people are going to eventually wake up because, you know, some of those preppers and those homesteaders, they may think one way, but they know the score. If they can't grow anything, there's a problem, wouldn't you say? Yeah, say, oh, there's a big problem. All right. Oh, you want to grow oyster mushrooms in a bucket this year. I know somebody who forages mushrooms and always, they're never poisonous. I don't know how this person does it. He's amazing. He's really amazing. I went to high school with him, and he puts all over his Facebook the mushrooms that he grows and finds. It's like, holy shit. And by the way, really quick, thank you, Chaz, and thank you, Aaron. I might as well do that now. Thank you. Thank you. That's really appreciative because that's the only way lately, you know. All right. So I want to talk about the tornadoes a little bit. I don't have much time. I don't want to take too much time tonight, but I do want to talk about the tornadoes because, well, they're bugging me a bit. All right. Let's move over here. Let's look at this first. And let's hope I don't get in trouble over it.
This morning, violent storms slamming the Midwest. Life-threatening tornadoes touching down across multiple states. In Oklahoma, several homes and businesses reportedly destroyed.
It's going to be for a tornado hit there, the house is fallen, there's a person trapped under the house.
Authorities say search and rescue efforts are underway. About 150 miles west, these dark tornado storms threatening the 1,000-person town of Okeen, Oklahoma. Lightning electrifying the skies in Guthrie. Forecasters have issued a rare high-risk weather warning for the area.
Pay close attention to this storm. Listen to our language very closely. Listen to our tone.
Kind of scary.
Ready to seek shelter if a tornado warning does come out on this.
In Smithville, Tennessee, a tornado ripping up trees and destroying homes.
Intensity.
It was like a whistle from the tornado. It sounded like a whistle to me. And then there was just like loud noises everywhere.
Damage and large hail reported in Kansas. Strong winds and heavy rain also pummeling London, Kentucky and Harrisonburg, Virginia. Further south in Texas, people still recovering from major flooding. Governor Greg Abbott announcing at least 3 deaths due to the severe storms, including a child swept away by floodwaters.
There now are 91 counties that have been impacted by this.
Oh, he'll ask
storm.
for that federal money, though.
Counties for which I have declared a state disaster.
Yeah. a state
Throughout
disaster.
the Midwest, thousands of power
But do you
outages.
believe that
Forecasters
greenhouse
expecting the
gases
severe
have a
storms
problem?
To weaken slightly as they move into the Tennessee and Ohio River Valley later today. Emwin, ABC News, Washington.
All right. So that was one I wanted to show you. And then I have a bookmark here. Now this one, holy crap. It's pretty heavy. I don't know if I'll show the whole thing, but Looney says, yes. Always listen to the local meteorologists when they tell you to take shelter when a tornado strikes your area. Look right now. I'm going to just show you this. Look at the side of this and look at all the live storm trackers. Live storm chasing in Indiana, which has really become quite an industry, huh? Tornadoes possible. Barnsdale, the tornado damage from the drone. And this is just this week. I mean, it's every week. I could just do a show called Last Week in Tornadoes and Severe Storms in the United States. Red states. That's a mouthful. Indiana, video, severity of tornado. Do they know why they're getting worse? And I mean, there's tornadoes that have hit cities, the same cities a couple of times, rebounded, come back stronger. But look at all of them. You can see so many of them. It's just crazy. So I want to put on a little music and play this. It's incredible. I'm not sure I'll play the whole thing, but it's and then it makes you think of all of the trash. Every single storm like this, all of this garbage has to go somewhere, right? So the dumps are now, look at the cars. This is now all the time. And I do believe it is because of the concentration of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere that the intensity of these storms and maybe even the frequency is getting worse. But I don't have any attribution studies open tonight, although there is a new measure of a new article, a new research study about attribution, which I really want to I want to read, which I haven't gotten to yet. But what do you see here? I mean, really, when you look at this, you don't know about the choice of the music. What did I do here? Well, I probably lost everything. All right. Anyway, I'm not gonna play anymore, but you get the drift. It's what happened to my hang on. All right, I'm back. You didn't like the music? But anyway, that's just to show you. It's incredible. Well, anyway, I didn't want to play, I could have played, I could have played that. I have so many. I could have played, I've got, should I have played that? I mean, it's pretty scary. I have lots of stuff. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, now that I'm getting silly. Yeah. Cat 5 wasn't strong enough. Jesus. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Yeah, you're saying, Ivor, and great for you joining us. Storms are about 10% stronger now than average. We'll find out, especially when I get that new attribution study. I hope I bookmarked it. So how you guys doing out there? You've been watching on the Weather Channel. I'm always surprised by people around me who say they don't watch it, so they don't know what's going on anywhere. I mean, it's not just the United States. I wanted to talk about that. So you think this is better? Oh, sometimes, though, it's better to kind of be a little upbeat, I can always play this. All right, you're 7% for every degree. And we're at 1.5. Yeah. Ah, I'm tired. So, does anybody have anything they want to add? Hi, Jean, by the way. Yeah. Even brick houses fall down. Yeah. You know, you think that when you look at all those tornadoes and you look at the amount of wood. Now, here's another juxtaposition I made. I live near a big sawmill. I mean, there's hundreds of trees. I have a new video. I have some footage. I didn't download it for this. I look at that, and then my mind's eye takes me to the tornadoes and all of those new houses that are being built in all that farmland that are made of wood. And really, they look like they are made like shit because they are just blown down. And they're from those trees, from the sawmill you know, hundreds like that. And they're not even thick trees anymore because there's nothing left. But they throw these things up and they get destroyed, and so it's just more garbage. But it is disturbing because even in the cities, I think it was Sulphur Springs, Oklahoma, it was old buildings, old brick buildings. And yeah, straw houses everywhere. That's what it seems like. I guess I'll have to put something together using my all of my video, because I did take the sawmill and I was going to juxtaposition it with tornado damage. So, okay, I told you. Yeah. All right. You taught climate literacy tonight. People really don't know about climate. All I teach is new to them. That's scary. It's very, very scary. But thank gosh, there's people like you. Karen Singing Way. Don't forget, she had a show with me. And it's on the channel here. And she has a channel called Climate Agents. And I've got some good stuff coming up. Friday night. Don't forget, Friday night. The 3 Dumigos. Brett, Scott, and Justin. And I call them the 3 Domingos, but they are the 30-somethings. They're the voices we now need to hear because of what's affecting them. And then the following Friday, I have a guest, but it's a surprise right now. But she's definitely going to be a guest. And you'll be hearing about her, and it's going to be very interesting. Today she made a video, that's my only hint, a video on epoch. And she's very cool. So please come back Friday night. I think you guys will enjoy the 3 Domingos. And I am not in the show. I'm just behind the show. I'm producing it. But these guys are on their own. And I really do think it's going to be enjoyable. I met adults today from the States who had never used a shovel. Oh my gosh. Wow. Remember the eclipse? Yeah, that was what it seems like eons ago in the news. The oceans are dying expeditiously very fast. Oxygen level is dropping. Yep. Yeah, she was talking about it. I'll probably put a link up to her video. I think I did it on X because it was so good. And Alan Rollins Switch sent it to me this morning, so I contacted her. But I don't want to tell you her name yet. Not yet. Not yet. Nadia, it's good to see you. Everybody, it's good to see you. And don't forget, Left Past 10 tomorrow. And Matt will be on Left of the Box. That's the Canadian Sandy with 2 E's. And I will be on tomorrow night, which is my walk on my progressive side. And it's out of the Doomosphere on Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock. And it's kind of fun. We don't talk about anything too heavy. And when we do, I just kind of and sometimes they talk about things that, like video games or whatever. And it's fine. I do like that. I like being with them. So thank you, Looney Tunes. And thank you for moderating. Thanks, guys, for putting up with my very not prepared and very tired. Some say there is no space for old men, but there are at times you're going to need old men. The past teaches us how to be or not how to be. That's right. And here we are. But the young voices are the voices that will be here after the old voices that won't. So to me, it's very important to bring on all kinds of voices. And I hope the Three Domingos want to stay. And I have another show coming up, I forgot, with Antonio. And Nicholas is getting close to his PhD. And I'm sure we'll bring Jim on to do another show on AMOC because there's always something updating there. So anyway, yeah, it's good to see you two. Oh, we go back a long time. Minnetonka prepping. Absolutely, like from when I was first doing this. 2017. My God. Think about that when Donald Trump became president, right? 2017. But that's another show. That's another show, definitely. All right, guys. I think I've been blabbing enough. Thank you as always. I love you guys, all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll see you Friday night. I will be in the background. Okay? It'll be the dudes, the Three Domingos.
But there's always something new that you discover you've not thought about. You can never figure out every possible outcome, and you're so scared you'll get it wrong. Have a good time, but worry after. Petrified, what they think I'm awkward. When your brain's wired for disaster, even good things leave a bitter taste. Try to calm down, thoughts spinning faster. Terrified, hide it with laughter. When your brain's wired for disaster, even good things leave a bitter taste. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste. Something unexpected happens, you can't let it go. Caught up in your own distractions, you already know that you're gonna think about this for a while. While you try not to lose your mind, not to believe the lies that you
Oh, you're a sweetheart, Gary. I needed that.
Have a good time, but worry after. Petrified, will they think I'm awkward? When your brain's wired for disaster, even good things leave a bitter taste. Try to calm down, thoughts spinning faster. Terrified, hide it with laughter. When your brain's wired for disaster, even good things leave a bitter taste. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste. Worry won't change the outcome, but I've been doing this for so long. My brain keeps signaling danger, although I know that I'll be just fine. Worry won't change the outcome, but I've been doing this for so long. My brain keeps signaling danger, although I know that I'll be just fine. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even good things leave a bitter taste, yeah. Even